And welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm your host, Pete Mezzetti, and my guest this afternoon is Paul Bass from the New Haven Independent and WNNH Radio. Paul, welcome. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you, Pete.
Good
Thanks
to see you
for
again. Thanks for coming on. So how have you been?
I've been good.
Good. So tell us a little bit about Paul Bass and how he got interested in journalism.
Oh, okay. I've been a reporter in New Haven for 40 years, a little more.
Okay.
And I came to town to go to college, and I loved reporting on New Haven. So I just stuck around.
Nice.
15 years ago, 14 and a half, started The Independent, which is an online-only, nonprofit daily news site about the city of New Haven. We've since branched out to Hamden and Naugatuck Valley.
Oh, nice.
And then 4 years ago, a little more, 4.5, we started WNHH, which is both online and low-power FM on the radio, community radio station with all local content. Most people live in New Haven, who do the shows, and Harry Drost runs the station.
That's right.
Ably.
That's right. So do you have a favorite, and I understand that you do a show yourself. Do you have a favorite topic to talk about?
Oh, I do a lot of politics, a lot of community stuff, and I like local music as well.
Yeah.
So one thing I started doing recently, I'm doing the show for 4.5 years, and mostly I'll interview politicians or people in public life, and that's always fun because I feel like you get a chance to go deeper. You write an article, and we try to get depth in articles, but nothing beats talking to someone for 45 minutes to really get to know them or why they make the decisions they make. And I feel like it's added a whole dimension because we also embed the interviews into our articles. Something I'd like doing recently was Video Jukebox. We found out that we think most of our people actually listen or watch the radio shows on Facebook and other online platforms that Harry finds out. I don't know what all these platforms are.
Yeah.
And so I've started doing local music where I'll also have a video produced by a local musician so that the people who are watching could actually watch the videos as well. I think that's sort of where radio's evolving, fusing with video and
Absolutely.
and social media.
Absolutely. Now you guys for WNHH are all an all-volunteer station and a nonprofit, correct?
Right. Harry's staff, he runs it.
Right.
And we have one part-time daily host, Babs Rawls Ivy.
Okay. Yep.
And then everybody else, we have 24 people who volunteer to do shows. It's great.
That's right.
Up to 11 hours. And we do it in conjunction with La Voz Hispana, which is a Spanish language newspaper. You'll notice in this office, we are in the office together. It's actually their office, and the Independent's here as well as WNHH. And so we also do Spanish language radio on the station at La Voz, and they have a separate studio within this office.
Oh, nice. Nice. Now, as far as the coverage area that you guys cover, so obviously you guys are online so people can watch and listen
so
online.
Worldwide. Yeah, so there are a bunch of ways people listen. So if you want to listen on 103.5 FM, you have to make sure you're not stopped at the wrong traffic light. The signal's not that strong. But, we're really good in Hamden. We're really good in big parts of New Haven, parts of East Haven, West Haven.
Yep.
And that's only 12 hours a day. We share the signal. But 24 hours a day, we have a live stream. So if you go to the New Haven Independent, on the homepage, you can click on the station.
Yep.
You go to TuneIn Radio. You can click on Listen Live. If you're on SoundCloud, you can subscribe, or on Apple to get the podcasts of the shows when they're done.
Absolutely.
And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people watch them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter video, which I hadn't realized existed, especially Facebook, where sometimes I'll have as many as a couple of thousand people while the show's on, or watching it later and commenting there.
Exactly. And so what are some of the shows that you guys host with WNNH as far as community shows go?
Well, we have Babs Rawls Ivy in the morning. Love Babs, love talk. And one day a week, she also does Criminal Justice Insider. She's been in the criminal justice system, and she talks to people. She had the state corrections chief on the other week, but also people who have been in prison, gotten out, and trying to rebuild their lives. People trying to help people re-enter society.
Right.
That's a biggie. We have Cannabis Corner, with people from Normal about legalizing marijuana and cannabis use. Harry Drost has a popular show.
That's right.
He's the bravest man in New Haven. He's an unapologetic Donald Trump fan.
Okay.
And he kind of goes there a couple times a week.
Yeah.
We always stay slack-jawed and amazed what Harry's going to say next, and so do our listeners. And he likes to listen too. Harry's a great listener and
absolutely.
A great talker. And let's see what some of the other big shows. We have Joe Ugly every morning on the radio drive time with his crew with local hip-hop, unsigned artists, and talk.
Yeah.
We have some other good ones. Are Michelle Turner, who's a very great. You probably know her from
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
She does an interview show. And La Voz Radio has a whole bunch. We have Carmen Mendes Taylor.
Okay.
who does Latino oriented and community oriented. We have the folks from Lula, not Lula, from ULA, who do the immigration reform program. We have Carlos Resto, who does Spanish language interview and talk, and then a lot of shows that are just once a week.
Right.
And Brian Slattery does Northern Exposure, which is again all local music. We have Tom Breen, who does Deep Focus about cinema, talking on radio about like film festivals and subjects like that. And Allison Bowens has done a show for years. She has both her own beer line and salsa dancing and kind of cultural talk on her show.
Wow.
And Pete Mezzetti.
I was gonna say.
I don't want to forget a couple of people.
Yeah.
Mubarak Ibrahim.
Oh, she's big name on our show from the beginning.
Okay.
And also Shafiq.
Tom Ficklin.
Tom Ficklin every Monday.
Yep.
And he used to edit the Inner City. He's a big social media guy. He's been following New Haven issues for decades. And
Lucy
Gelman still does her show.
Yes, Kitchen Sink.
Yeah, on food and food policy.
And then you have Table Underground, Tegan Engel. So, we have...
And Shafiq Abdul Sabur, the retired officer.
That's right. Shafiq,
who has a policing show.
Who just restarted his show, and that's an excellent show. That's Urban Talk Radio.
Okay.
So we have a mixture of different, it goes across the board.
It does.
And it's all a joy to listen because they're different perspectives from different people in different points of their lives. It's like incredible.
Exactly.
And the community is what powers it.
Right.
And the secret weapon is Harry Droz.
That's
because
right.
He's
That's
all
right.
over. Because radio has changed so fast, and it really requires a few talents to harness that change. One is to realize how the tech platforms have changed.
Right.
So Harry was all over early how to reach different people in different ways through multiple platforms. It's no longer everyone just listens one way.
Right.
He has this incredible ability to work with people who you in the past might have not have done radio shows, but have so much to offer. Right. And he's got that way to roll with people, no matter what they think, and if they have, not too many of them do, but if they have a large ego, he's chill on that too, and a very flexible person, and yeah.
And then there's Pete Mezzetti when he shows up, and you don't know what to expect, right, Harry?
Oh, Pete Mezzetti has a really good show too, right?
I think so.
I like it live better, so you should show up more often.
Okay, all right. I could definitely do that. I think that would be fun.
But let me just say, Paul is incredible. Paul is the mastermind behind everything.
That's right.
And I've even heard people give you credit for the genius hire of Harry Droz.
Oh yeah. That was the whole secret of the thing.
I'm gonna steal a Paul Bass phrase. So Harry, Paul Bass is what makes WNNH tick.
Well,
so true,
Harry.
Right?
Okay. Well, Harry and I can disagree because we disagree about a lot of things. I think it begins and ends. What we've been able to do is because of Harry. But okay.
Right. Exactly. So Paul, how important is it for, and Harry, you can chime in too. How important is it for the station to get involved into the community, and as far as what
it begins
you guys
and
do?
ends with community?
Right.
So people who want to do shows, people who want to be shows. We hear from people, like people working for presidential candidates say, "Hey, bring us on. We want to make our case to people. We want to tell a story about something we're building in New Haven. We want to get feedback.
Right.
We want to hear from the public about what their concerns are." So it's only community. That's where it begins and ends with us. If it's got to be real people in person, real issues, real diversity, it's got to be New Haven, Hamden, just through and through.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think this station definitely promotes the fact that everybody's voice counts.
Exactly. Right.
So pretty good.
Exactly. And if people have an idea and want to talk to somebody about hosting a show, who would they talk to, and how
Harry Droz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you could contact me if you wanna host a show, and you have an idea. I'll help you develop the idea.
Right.
If it's not fully developed.
Right.
You could contact me at harrydroz@gmail.com.
Okay.
So Pete, how did you get to do a show? How did you link up with NHH?
I actually linked up with NHH because of Joe DeLong, who's the executive director of CCM.
Connecticut Conference Municipality.
Yeah, and Joe's actually a guest on my show, and him and I were talking one afternoon, and I happened to mention that I wanted to get on radio, and he said to me to get in touch with Harry, and that
and
was.
what's the thrust of your show? Why do you do a show?
And I'm not sure what you or Harry know about Pete Mezzetti, so I'm going to just give you a little background about me. I've been with Valley Shore Community TV in Westbrook for about 6.5 years. Before that, I was with Comcast out of the Clinton franchise for about 9 years. So I've been doing this. I've been doing this for 15 plus years, and I've interviewed local mayors, local first selectmen. I'm a lot like WNNH radio as far as believing in keeping it in the community. Yes, I dabble into a little bit of politics, but I like to get out into the community and get into what's going on in the community. One of the stories that I tell every once in a while when people ask me about the show is back in when I was taping in Clinton. I was actually off I usually tape every other week, and I was off one week, and one afternoon my phone rang, and it was the campaign staff for candidate Dan Malloy, whose office called. The nominating convention was the week before, and the weekend before, and his office called. We're gonna be on the shoreline Monday afternoon. Are you taping? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, let me call you back. I basically put an hour show together in less than 90 minutes, and it was.
What's the favorite interview you ever did?
That's a tough one. I would have to say Paul Bass, or one of the other interviews I've done as far as the station goes is I've interviewed Scott Jackson, who is the current Department of Revenue Services Commissioner.
Well, now he's the Chief Administrative Officer of City of New Haven.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
Former Hamden Mayor.
Yep. Former Hamden Mayor.
What did you like about the interview? What happened on the
Scott's actually a very down to earth guy. Like I was telling you off the air, I've known Scott for 25 plus years. He's very, like he says to me all the time, coming on with you make your guests feel very at home, very comfortable. It's not like a stuffed shirt. It's not like I'm a stuffed shirt and I'm going to make you feel very uncomfortable and very twitchy and jumpy. It's like, no, it's like people ask me all the time when I'm on with you, what's it like? And I just tell them, what's it like? It's like sitting around a coffee table having a cup of coffee with me for a half hour and having a conversation.
Good.
Yeah. I've been doing this for almost 15 years, and I absolutely love it. Somebody asked me the other day, they were like, you ever plan on stopping doing your show? I'm like, when I can't put a sentence together, yes. But otherwise, absolutely not. I'm not going anywhere. And the Valley Shore Community Television, which is where my show is taped out of for the TV side, is a lot like you guys with WNNH. They're a nonprofit they're a nonprofit TV station as well. So every viewer counts, and it's one of the big things that I talk about when I'm out in the community is local community, local content. Somebody said to me, they were like, there was an event this past weekend. They were like, Pete Mezzetti wasn't there. I'm like, Pete Mezzetti was actually at another event in another town, but Pete Mezzetti, I stopped by after the event. Right as the event was wrapping up, I stopped in to say hello, and they were like, you should have been here. I'm like, yeah, sorry, I was at another event, and I found out after the event. I found out about 12 hours earlier that the event was going on, so I didn't have time to throw it in my schedule.
So what was it that got you started, Pete? I mean, what was the catalyst and
what got me started in the world
in
was
the media business?
In the media business was because back when I started doing my show with Comcast in Clinton, at the time I had to go to the Comcast office in Clinton to drop something off, and I was talking to the public access manager at the time, and he says to me, he's like, every town that they cover, the Comcast franchise covers, every town does a public access TV show but the town of Clinton. I'm like, that's very interesting. So I went over to the town hall for a meeting, was talking to the first selectman at the time. He stands up, comes around his desk, shakes my hand, and says, congratulations, it's yours. It was that simple, that cut and dry. Of course,
Did you grow up in Clinton?
No, I actually was born in Fort Lauderdale. Born in Fort Lauderdale. We moved up here when I was 3 because my dad took a job.
So you lived in Clinton since you were 3?
Yeah.
And what do you think of Clinton? Why'd you stay?
I like it. I stayed because I actually work in Old Saybrook, and it's a nice little town. My mom is retired now, and she was an elected official.
Oh yeah, what'd she do?
In the town of Clinton, she was tax collector.
Oh wow! So were you popular or unpopular?
Yeah, it depends on who you it depends on who you talk to.
And what do you do in Old Saybrook?
I actually work for a nationwide floral and gift delivery service called From You Flowers. We're a nationwide floral and gift delivery service. I'm a customer service representative. I've been with them for about 15 years. I've been with them for about 15, 16 years.
Can't go wrong with flowers.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's a great company, great organization to work for. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun doing the show too. It's like Harry said, I actually like coming into the studio rather than studio versions are a lot more fun than sending the audio version in every couple weeks, and it's like I actually enjoy coming in and doing the in-studio version of the show. So what else we want to talk about as far as the station goes, and as far as the growth of the station?
I guess the platforms we've gotten on it, that's what's really changed the most. When we first started,
okay,
I thought most people were listening on FM or on our stream on our website. If you go to the Independent, and there's still about 1,500 people a day do that, but that hasn't really grown.
No,
the growth has really been on the social media.
Really?
Finding these new platforms and having people click on there.
Harry, how many people do we have normally listening on a daily basis, or does it matter, or does it depend on the day?
Well, it's hard to tell. It's like Paul said, on the stream site on our website, you'll get about 1,500, but on Facebook, you'll get, since it lives there, you'll get thousands more.
Okay.
And then on TuneIn Radio, we can't measure.
No?
And then the thing,
we can't measure on FM either.
On FM,
so we have no idea how many people listen to FM. We're not on the hills.
But everybody I know, and I have family, friends, and everything. They all listen on TuneIn.
Right. Exactly.
So
that's interesting. They listen live rather than picking their show.
Yeah, actually they listen, since our stream runs on TuneIn 24 hours a day. So if they don't catch a morning show, they'll catch it in the evening. And that's the beauty of TuneIn Radio.
Right.
That it has our programming 24 hours a day.
The thing is, if you just go to our Facebook page for the Independent and go to videos, you could find all the shows from that day, right?
Absolutely.
I guess you can't. You can't find the ones that we can't do because of copyright, right? So you can't find. We have a great Stand the Man jazz program, right?
Yep.
And that one can't go on the Facebook.
But actually, I've been putting Stand the Man recently now.
And they don't kick us off.
Well, they kick us off. They stop kicking us off. What they do is they mute the stream that's copywritten.
Okay.
But even that, they've been releasing the copyright information. They send me little emails that the company has released it. I guess they're figuring out that we're a radio station.
Right.
Gotcha. And obviously, when we're on FM and when we're on TuneIn and when we're on the web stream, we've paid for a licensed BMI and ASCAP, so we're allowed to run that music. Although when we do the local music, it's fun. Then you don't need the permission.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I like when we have performers come into the studio and play. That's always fun.
Yeah. When we have a packed house in here.
Oh, I was going to say a packed house in here.
Oh yeah,
we squeeze them in.
We have wall-to-wall musicians.
And then every March, it's coming up again. The Great Give takes place in New Haven, where all the nonprofits, hundreds of them, are raising money for 36 hours. We do a radiothon where they come in, and we tell them that if you'll agree to either sing a song or read a poem, then you can make your pitch for raising money. And we have we do that for a day and a half.
Really? Is that so? That's coming up in March.
Yeah, that's fun.
May 5th, I think.
Oh, May 5th.
May. Okay.
This year's May. Okay.
Okay. I was going to say, let us know. I'm sure I'm sure we can get somebody on. I'm sure you guys have somebody on from the. Is that the United Way or the Chamber?
It's the Greater Community Foundation for Greater New Haven.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very, very nice.
It's the Community Foundation, and you could, Pete.
Yes, Harry.
We'll schedule you for one of the half hours, but you have to sing.
Okay.
Or read something for us.
A poem, yeah.
Oh boy.
People get into it. It's really fun. People really get into it.
Does Paul sing or read a poem?
No, they sing to me.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
Actually, the first year
boy.
we did all night. The first year I got Allen Ginsberg poems in, and I filled in the spaces by reading Allen Ginsberg poems. Yeah,
Really?
he's my favorite poet.
Oh, is he?
Well,
And Paul,
we get a lot
Go
of
ahead.
good performances that day
Yeah,
too.
we do.
really? Wow. Very cool. Very cool. So if people want to want to watch they can watch via Facebook. They can tune in on the TuneIn app. They can watch it. They can listen through
103.5 FM. Then go to newhavenindependent.org, and
Yeah.
just the top left, you just click on the stream. Or you can go to SoundCloud. We have a page if you want to download the audio.
You can look us up on
on Facebook,
on iTunes.
Okay.
So we usually show up anywhere from 24 to 48 hours after the broadcast on iTunes. So it becomes a podcast there. Becomes a podcast on SoundCloud.
Yep.
You can go to our Twitter account at WNHHLP on Twitter, and all our videos are there.
Okay.
Same thing on New Haven Independence Facebook page or WNHHLP Community Radio
Right.
Facebook page. On YouTube, you would have to look us up as New Haven Independent on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, and Periscope, another at WNHHLP, on Twitch, on Streamcast.
See, have you heard of Twitch or Streamcast?
No,
Me
I've
either.
actually never heard of Periscope either. Harry, what's Periscope?
Well, Periscope is just another media platform where you get to. Actually, there's a lot of people who watch on Periscope.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So yeah, so you go to Periscope and you're able to watch the videos just like if you would watch it on Twitter. The only thing is the way they basically put it together is just a list of videos. So you don't have to go scroll down through a bunch of stuff like on Twitter.
No.
So it's just nice. It's a nice little platform.
Very nice. I didn't know they existed, but wow.
Yeah, so we're all over the place.
You guys are all over the place, and you're very.
That's Harry Drost. He's the 21st century man of radio.
Paul, do you have a favorite topic to write about when you're writing for the Independent?
Yeah, I love writing about politics, government, neighborhoods, criminal justice, cops. I like doing a Cop of the Week feature. I have a feature now called Vegan Vittler, where I go get chefs who make vegan food.
Okay.
Show how they make the dish. That's fun.
Wow. You guys are a very busy news outlet.
Yeah, we do. We do 6 to 10 stories a day.
Oh wow. And obviously you guys are online only. You don't print a daily edition.
Correct. Our articles, some of them do show up in print in La Voz Hispana, translated into Spanish, and in the Inner City Weekly, they use our stories, like 5 or more a week in there.
Nice. And obviously, in the city of New Haven, there's things changing. We have a new mayor coming in or currently in.
Mm-hmm.
And what's Mayor Elker like?
He's ambitious.
Okay.
He's serious about work. He's young. He's 44, and that's young compared, a lot of us. And his predecessor. And he's working hard. Big challenges in the city, big opportunities, and see how he does.
Harry, you have a favorite topic to talk about on your show?
Sure, Trump. No, actually, the favorite part of my show is actually attacking the hypocrisy of the liberal left, right? So that's my favorite part. I actually don't talk much about Trump.
No?
I actually talk more about the hypocrisy of the left, which brings me joy.
There you go. And when can people listen to your show, Harry?
Well, my show is live Mondays from 2 to 3 p.m.
Okay.
And then again that night at 10 p.m.
Okay.
And then throughout the week I'll sprinkle it in,
And
Paul, when can people listen to Dateline New Haven?
Okay, it's every day at 11 a.m.
Right.
Or if you go to New Haven Independent and go to the videos, you'll see all the most recent videos there of the show.
Cool.
There's a cue for the show.
Excellent.
And I encourage everybody if you haven't seen Paul's show, he has probably the best guest on, our station. But of course, he's Paul Bass.
Right, exactly.
So, but go to his show because his shows are excellent and the guests are excellent.
Right.
And, Paul gives you the feeling of sitting, like you said, at a coffee table, but with Paul, you're sitting at on a couch, basically in his living room, and you're having a conversation.
Exactly. Couch with a cup of coffee
So
or
check
tea
out
and life is good.
New Haven Independent. You know, one of my favorite shows
Yeah.
of Paul's on New Haven Independent is his policing expert, where he usually has John Vallecca, former Paul police chief, right? Former
Right,
police
acting
chief.
police chief and assistant chief in New Haven. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's excellent. I mean, he gives you insight on the police department that you won't get anywhere else. You know,
Right.
so it's guests like that Paul has that makes this show excellent.
Well, thanks, Harry.
Exactly. And I'm sure Harry runs the board for your show, Paul.
He does, and sometimes comes on the air, like when John Vallecca comes and offers
Yeah.
good discussion. He's always fun to talk to.
I was going to say, I saw on the independent website the other day where you and, is it Babs?
Mhm.
And Harry sprinkled in on
Yeah.
a Friday edition
Yep,
of.
yep.
your
Headlines
show?
and baselines. Yeah.
Yep.
Local music and headlines. Yeah.
That's what it's called. I saw that. I was doing research the other day and happened to click on that and watch it. I'm like,
Excellent.
oh, there's Harry again. All right. There's Paul. So what else do we want to tell everybody about community radio when the time
Got a
we have left?
future. Big
Yeah?
corporations can't make it work, but community can.
Exactly. Harry, what else you want to chime in with?
Well, it says I'm gonna make a pitch right now, right?
Okay.
No, seriously, and it's what I talked about earlier because I'm looking to fill a couple of slots.
Okay.
So I have a couple of biweekly slots that I'm looking to fill,
Mm-hmm.
and anybody listening right now, if you think you got what it takes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, shoot me an email at harrydros@gmail.com.
Right.
And don't be afraid that I'm a Trump supporter or anything. I love information, period. So
Yes.
I love the conversations, all the communication. So come in, even if you think I won't like you,
You'll be wrong.
you'd
Right.
be wrong.
Exactly.
You definitely be wrong because I just want more voices on the show.
Right.
I mean, on the radio station. So
Right. And if people want to come in, where are you guys located?
51 Elm Street.
There you go.
51 Elm Street, downtown New Haven, Suite 307. So if you want to drop by and have a seat with me, and if we'll have a conversation. This is what I'm saying. But
Right.
email me first, so I have the
to
time
make sure
for
you're
you.
here.
Right. So I have the time for you, and I'll sit down with you and develop whatever it is you're working on.
Exactly.
Help you develop.
Exactly. It's actually very easy. And it's actually fun being part of the WNNH family. And I actually want to thank you guys both for letting Mezzetti be part of the family as well.
All good.
All right. Not a problem. And Harry, I think we have a little bit more time left, or are we good? We're good? Paul Bass from The Independent, thanks for coming down. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me on, Pete.
Thanks a lot. On behalf of Paul Bass and Harry Droz, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Good job, man.